this is kind of a cool one too. Who got you your first major placement?
Yeah, you can answer that too. Are you asking me questions now?
No. They're just in the
Yeah,
thing.
I'm just joking. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, for me, it was actually a friend of mine who I met when I was in LA, and we were just friends. He wasn't like really involved in the music industry or no nothing like that. And then when I moved from LA back home to Washington, he was getting out of college. He was playing football, but he got out of college and he got an internship at Atlantic. And he hit me maybe like 2 years after I moved back from LA. It was the most random thing ever. So I was trying to get placements. I was trying to get my foot in the door. I didn't really have nothing going on. And he called me and he was like, yo, I'm interning at Atlantic. You should send me some stuff if you have anything. I can at least get them heard.
Cool.
So we started playing my stuff for some A&Rs. Da, 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 da. I started flying out to LA more often. And they have like a little B room at Atlantic, like the smaller room and shit. And they would let us go in there and produce and just make beats or whatever in the afternoon, like before the big artists would come in or anything like that. Like this room is available from like noon to 5 or something. So I was in there making beats, and he called another A&R friend of his that was working on a Tinashe album, and he came, listened to some beats, asked for some pop stuff. I had one beat. The only beat that I thought sounded poppy enough to play is the beat that he took and played it for her, and she liked it, and it eventually made it out. That was, my first
Nice.
placement was through a friend. So that's another thing too, right? Going back to what we were talking about, like how do you get placements or things like that? Like how the fuck was I supposed to know that a guy that was just my friend, he wasn't involved in
Mm.
music or nothing, would call me 2 years later to be like, hey, I'm interning now over here, send me some stuff, and then it would lead to this thing. And also he introduced me to who is now like my best friend, Leon, and me and him did the sample for Slide together, and we met at that same period of time. So like all these little things lead to something else down the road that
Yeah,
you can't even explain or give like a template for.
exactly. It's a life story. Once,
Yeah.
as long as you keep moving and doing things, people will come, people will go, something will build, something will grow, something will go away. But there's no like do this, do that, and you're gonna be like successful. Like I said earlier, you might have like a big year, like crushing everything. It might be the next year might be like a little less. You don't. No one
Yeah.
knows. I don't know. I don't know. No one knows. Like even like the biggest producers, maybe they wouldn't like admit or something. But even some of the biggest producers, they wouldn't know what's going to happen like next year.
You're right.
So yeah. So um, I don't know. My first placements, I had a couple of placements in Germany like years before. Um, Also through meeting people. I mean, more playing stuff to artists directly, I think. But
Yeah.
what else we got?
What to do against beat block? What do you do when you got beat block? I'll tell you what I do with,
I
with
got.
oh, you gotta plug the phone in. Yeah, what I do with beat block, I think this just like recently got really good for me too, is like I found a really good life balance. Instead of just always being like studio, 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 I gotta work, I gotta do this, I gotta just constantly be like working on stuff. I was like, yo, hold on a second. I need to remember to enjoy fucking life too. And so like I got back into doing things that like really made me happy, like snowboarding all the time. I'm an athletic person. I like being outdoors and stuff too. I run, I jog, so things like that basically took all the beat block away from me. I never have that shit. Every time that I'm in here, I'm excited. It's fun. It's not a chore anymore. You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out that life balance, whatever it is for you that brings you joy. Maybe it's going out and balling or going out and whatever it is that you do. Make sure that you take time to do that, and then that way
Yeah.
when you're in the studio and you're working, it's not going to be a chore.
Yeah, that's a great advice. I also think beat block is, of course, something in the head. It's not like that the music is all of a sudden like disappeared. It's just like if we are afraid of something. I think, like, I don't know, Cash Money AP just said Nils never had has beat blocks. I don't know. I don't know about him. For example, I think he's doing. Yeah, we can ask him. Maybe I don't know if he's still online, but I sometimes I don't feel like making music, but I don't call it like a beat. Then it's like, okay, I'm not feeling like it today. It's like
Yeah.
with other things in life, if you don't feel like it, you also slow down a little bit, and you maybe do something else, like Mario said. Then you do something else that you feel like doing at that moment. You know, get that pressure away of trying to be in a race. Like, oh, somebody else might be in the studio right now, and I'm not. Okay, I know those feelings. I got to be honest. Sometimes I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
going through those things. Like, got to put more time into the studio. Like, you know, a voice in my head, like, you know, you got to spend more time. But you know, we have this one life, you know, so
yeah. You
in
gotta
the end,
enjoy it,
when
man.
you're old and gray, you know, we might have like a couple of platinum plaques on a wall or whatever, but you know, I mean, there's
I
more
get
to
on
life
Call of
than
Duty. Yeah, see, there you go. Cash Money AP said every time I get beat block, I get on Call of Duty. Exactly. Like if
okay.
you're
I
not
don't play
inspired,
games, but
it doesn't mean shit. Just take a break. Like I do that. There's times where like I won't even step foot in here for like 4 days, you know? And that's okay. I don't feel like I'm losing pace. I don't feel like somebody's beating me to whatever else. Like it's all good, you know?